Hello and welcome to another Demon 212 PS Vita review. Today I'm going to be taking a look at Mortal Kombat, which if you've never played it before, it's a fighting game slash beat 'em up, and so far pretty much the Vita is establishing itself as probably the best handheld for fighting games out there. I'm absolutely a huge fan of the genre. I have been ever since Street Fighter 2. It was the first game I ever played of the genre, and I even used to play games like Body Blow Diablo, I believe it used to be called, on the Amiga, which I loved. And so far, we've had BlazBlue Continuum Shift Extend and Marvel Ultimate Alliance, or Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom, or something like that. That's it, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom, Marvel Ultimate Alliance. Different game, totally. And each of them has been, as far as I'm concerned, far better than the console version. And here's number 3, really. It's Mortal Kombat 2.0, really. It's like 1.5 or something. It's everything that you got on the PS3 version and more. It's a far better version of the game. You get another challenge tower, and I absolutely love the challenge tower. It was most of the gameplay for me with the last one. You get a load of new costumes and that. Just all sorts, really. So at the start, as you can probably see, there's fight mode, story mode, challenge tower, bonus challenge tower, which is another 150 to go on top of the 300, so that's 450. Training mode, versus mode, extras, and options. Options, you don't get as many as on the console because obviously there's less buttons than that, so they've had to do some creative editing pretty much with the button controls. It's still both shoulder buttons together to do your X-ray, but it's also now block is to do your super ability as well. So for example, on the if you played the console version or anything, for Scorpion, back attack is obviously get over here. And before you used to have to hit back attack and then something like R2, and now it's just back attack and block together to do your super get over here. You can still choose all sorts of different things like story mode, difficulty, beginner, easy, medium, hard, expert, whatever. You can choose the rounds to win, you can choose the round time, you can choose subtitles on and off. I'm not going to be showing the story mode today because I can't obviously let you listen to anything because it's a handheld game, and I did show it off in the console version, and I'll just reiterate what I said there. It's amazing, and part of why it's amazing is I think the story and the cutscenes are done really well, so that's why there's not much point in showing you it when I can't let you listen to any of the dialogue. So mainly I'm going to be sticking, really, I suppose, to the new bonus challenge tower, and I'll try and show a couple of fights off, because the new tower uses all sorts of the gimmicky parts of the Vita, and some of them work amazingly well, some of them work not so well. So let's begin with Missile Mayhem. This one, not too keen on, because the whole point is you have to avoid missiles and avoid dying, whilst at the same time as tapping the missiles to destroy them. And I find it a little awkward to jump around and try and attack sector with two hands, so obviously one over the buttons, one over the jumping and that, to try and knock them away, whilst at the same time then quickly touching the rockets when they appear, which obviously if you then get hit, your camera changes, so touching the rockets definitely becomes harder. I think things like that weren't really thought out well. It would be better if you just had 100 or so rockets coming at you at super fast and you just had to quickly tap them, rather than trying to dodge him for a long enough time, which tends to mean attacking when it gets harder and more advanced. But still, the actual touchability does work well, because touching it is responsive and all that. The only problem really I've got with the game, the major problem, is what you're probably noticing right now, is the fact that the loading is atrocious. It really does take too long for my liking for a handheld game in between things. So skip all that. One of the other things is the fact that you can now do fatalities using touchscreen, so just simply swipe forward, back, and there we go, doing a fatality as Shao Kahn, which is a rather cool one. Obviously, he rips him in half, as you can see. And this is exactly what I mean by some things can take too long, because I now can't really speak until the next one loads, but I don't want to do a cut, because that seems a bit stupid to do a cut for a few seconds. This one here doesn't particularly use anything unique or anything. I accidentally put it on, but I still think it's a cool new one, is the fact that you get 10 zombies with barely any health, so you just have to kick the crap out of Scorpion and try to use as few zombies as possible, which I found myself dying like a bitch with the first one, like I just did there, but then I managed to kill him with the second one by constantly doing high kicks. It's not going to work all the time, but it will work sometime. Yep, he blocked it. Right, so let's exit out of that one. Return to the tower. If you've ever played little mini games on things like Windows Phone or iPhones or anything like that, there's things like Fruit Ninja. There's mini games on this which are just like Fruit Ninja, where things appear and you do that, and then there's this one which is kind of like Fruit Ninja. Basically, Kenshi is standing there, and I've got to swipe whenever I want Kenshi to attack, and he cuts the fruit, and whenever grenades come at me, I have to hold the Mortal Kombat symbol down there, the dragon, and it'll block the grenade, and I've got to build up enough of me bar at the bottom to be able to do an X-ray attack to kill Striker. Whereas, as I say, there are some games where they are just cut the Fruit Ninja and things like that. 100% you just get a screen and a load of skulls and like bloody gory stuff appears, you cut through them, bombs appear, you shake the Vita to destroy the bomb to get bonus points. So again, it plays just like, well, Fruit Ninja, except for the fact that you don't shake to destroy anything, unless, of course, I've been playing Fruit Ninja wrong all this time, and it only now just dawns on me that perhaps I might have to shake my phone next time I play it. There's a lot of humour with the new challenge tower as well, like this one. I still hate teddies. The whole point is you play a Scorpion, you beat Melina, and then you do a fatality on a teddy bear, a tiny little teddy bear, not even a full-size man in a costume, a tiny little teddy bear, and it's just really daft. They've been able to do a lot of fun with it because the game's already had its seriousness and shown that it's a good fighting game and got great mechanics and that, so it's already done all that with the console version. So with the handheld, when they were able to add stuff, they were able to do loads of little extras like this, and I quite like it. But I suppose that's enough of the challenge tower for now. I'll actually go into a proper fight, because I have mentioned you get all the other stuff that you got with the other one, all the DLC and that, and you do get it right from the start. You don't have to unlock anything, any characters. The only thing you have to unlock are the new costumes, and even then I think there's 16 of them overall, so there's not that much that you have to really do to unlock. You can just jump into playing it really. Right, so who's probably best to show off then? Obviously I've shown Kratos on the original because he was the big pull, but I suppose Freddy Krueger is now the big pull, at least as far as I'm concerned. You still get the same usual choice of different difficulties before you go into the arcade ladder. And combat-wise, the game plays just like it did on the PlayStation, just with a couple less buttons, and you don't really notice that. Weird, Freddy Krueger versus Freddy Krueger, so I'll doubly get to show them off then. Graphically, they've had to drop things a little bit in order to keep it running smooth, but it does run smooth, especially on local Wi-Fi. I was playing with my brother when we first got it, and it was absolutely fantastic. We didn't experience any lag. Granted, we were sitting like 10 feet away, but still, it's also good that there's no online pass for people who like the online, because there was on the original PS3 version, but on the Vita version there is no online pass, so you don't have to worry about any of that, which is cool. I don't think there's going to be any DLC for this version though, however, because obviously it's got all the stuff from the original, which is a bit of a shame really, because they kind of said they were going to keep supporting the game when it first came out. And I know I touched on this on the actual DLC vid I did, but they did say they were going to look at what people wanted, who they wanted most, and they were going to keep doing it and updating and adding people, and then they added 4 characters and stopped. So if they don't continue to add now that it's been re-released with all of the first batch of DLC, or hell, the final batch of DLC, then it is going to be a little annoying, because that to me is not constantly supporting the game, right? You know, because there's not even another one on the books anytime soon. There's been no mention of them just doing another one, so it really is a little annoying if all we got after all that big hype and big whoop of, oh, you'll get all this, to only get 4 characters. It's a little annoying. But that's just me talking about post-game. The actual game that you get, you're getting tons of content, 450 challenge tower things to do, you're getting an absolute ton of different characters and costumes to play as, and so you can look different obviously online with the costumes. You can make the characters your own, which is good, although I have a strong feeling there'll be a lot of people out there who still play as classic Scorpion with the classic ninja outfit on. I don't blame them, it's a cool look, but you are getting a load of content. The story mode's pretty long, the arcade mode, beating it with all the characters, takes quite some time. The arcade endings are actually really good, not all of them granted. A couple of them I thought they're a bit crap, but some of them are amazing, some of them are really good, some of them are just decent, and again some of them are a bit crap. So if you've never played Mortal Kombat before, in any version, going back to the very first one, if you've never played it and you've been interested, this is a great place to start, because I personally think this is the best version of any one ever. It is my favourite combat, and it is a better version of it. I suppose the only other things I can mention are the fact that you've still got the Necropolis, which I still couldn't pronounce that the first time I'd done the review either, where you can go in and view biographies of the characters, and you've still got the Crypt, which I think someone actually worked out it takes something like 298,880 coins to get everything, which I really don't know what the hell made him decide to do that, because personally I just think it's got a lot of crypts, it's got a lot of things you can go in and buy stuff for. I don't really think there was any need to ever work out exactly how many items there were. Well, to be fair, it tells you how many items there were when you go into this. So there's 121 in the Badlands, 40 in the Hollow Infestation, you know, etc, etc. It's just, I don't know why the hell, what possessed them to think, you know what, I'm going to work out exactly how many coins you need. But I suppose it takes all kinds to make the world go around, you know. That is everything I can say about the game. It's got tons of content, just to reiterate, and it's a fantastic fighting game. Check it out. So there we go then. That's been the review. I hope you found it helpful. I don't score the games because that's based purely on opinion, so instead I'll leave you to make your own mind up. So thanks for watching, and if you've got any questions about the game that I didn't answer in the vid, or that hasn't been answered in the comments, then feel free to ask and I'll help if I can. Also, if you did find it helpful, don't forget to check out my channel, because there's plenty more like this up there, and don't forget to subscribe because there'll be plenty more to come as well. So until next time, this has been Demon212, signing off.